Hey there, comic frontliners. Dan here. We're going to give a big bad review of. We're just going to go through all of them. Saga Volume 1, Saga Volume 2, Saga Volume 3, and Saga Volume 4. I had heard great things about the book, and I figured that many people can't be wrong. So let me just bang out these trades here. I had been getting them kind of as they had come out, but I had been putting them aside, reading so much other material that I just had never gotten around to it. Um, I would have been, I guess, greatly disappointed if all four were bad, but thankfully that is not the case. Brian K. Vaughan on writing, Fiona Staples on art. I know that these books have already gotten so many great reviews, and I can justify that. I will go. I'll go with 5 out of 5 stars. What the heck? Very enjoyable stuff. Um. All right. As always, we will be doing some spoilers on this. Uh. But overall, I'll say strengths of the book um, are going to be the characters, and the characters are very well done. The characterization is on that they seem multi-dimensional. Um, the artwork is great. Okay, the art and colors, fantastic. Now, uh, as with always, I'll say that big two people, well, lately the big two people, the big two artists rather, or mainstream artists, have branched out a little bit. So this art would be something that you could see in that type of book. Um, back in the day when we had, I guess, a more detailed art style throughout. Not that this isn't detailed, but it's a little more towards the more minimal scale. I mean, lots of detail throughout, but it's just not exactly what we had when, the whole, I guess, uh, Jim Lee, Todd McFarlane, Carlos Pacheco, Art Adams, George Perez, all those type of guys were ruling the charts. Adam Hughes, I mean, those are all a lot of my artistic favorites. Um, so this is a different style than that. Still great for this story, um, but just again, people shouldn't be expecting that particular style. Um, but again, it's a style I like very much for this. Um, all right. I mean, I don't even know where to begin with the story. Let's just say that there are two planets, and one planet, everyone has horns. One planet, everyone has wings. So we might have sort of a bit of a, not that either one of them are particularly evil and good, but one can't help but notice like a devil and angel analogy going on with that. Um, and then another main part of the book are bounty hunters, who, again, we'll go with the spoilers. Basically, these the horned moon that circles the planet with everyone with wings, they're at war with each other. Um, and the union of these two and having a kid kind of is big news. And I guess uh, people allies of the planet where everyone has wings hires a hitman or bounty hunter to go out and kill the couple and get the baby. And okay, that is bounty hunter right there. The will and his trusty companion Lion Cat, which is kind of a big feline creature who has the ability or the almost the drive to say lying when anyone is lying. So I don't know if it's quite his ability or just he almost has no control of it. Let's see. One thing I'll put out there is that in these books, people do in fact die. And it's not a mainstream comics death. It's more of a death like you're not coming back death. And again, those who've read mainstream comics for a long time might actually find that quite refreshing. And I like how the book plants a lot of seeds that do come to fruition. So I think there's a lot of things here that are very well done. Again, Volume 1 kind of sets that all up. We have not only the will to that bounty hunter after them, we also find that we have this guy Prince Robot after them as well. And kind of like a whole robot race with these TV screens on their heads. His wife is expecting, so he wants to capture the baby and get back as soon as possible. Let's see, towards the end, we have the horned characters' parents come into play. Okay, that's book 1. I gave you the overall series, my thoughts on the series as a whole, but I gave you a few details on book 1. Book 2. Oh, we do have some flashbacks as to how they met. She was a prison guard, and the male lead, a prisoner, which leads some of the people in the galaxy there to believe that he took her hostage. Again, big spoiler here, in the fact that earlier in the story, Gwen was mentioned, and Gwen being a ex-girlfriend of the characters. I believe Marco is the... Again, I've read a number of things since this, so I'm losing track of the character names. But I think it's Marco is a male character. Well, at any rate, the male horned character, his girlfriend, Gwen, does show up in the book and begins her hunt for the characters as well. So there she meets up with the Will. Oops, as you can see right there. Let's see. And something that the male-female characters bonded over was this book, and she feels somehow that going to the author of the book will help give them some perspective on their situation. So that is what they do. They go off to meet him. I was right. Marco is the male character. All right. So, let's see. And a lot of the book is just, at this point at any rate, people pursuing them. So, that you should know is well, I'm guessing it's going to be for quite some time. One of the main things about the book. Let me just see this here. Well, again, our work is very solid in that issue as well. All right. Volume 3. We're introduced to a couple of reporters. We're trying to follow the story. They seem to be almost like celebrity rag type of reporters. And again, more things centering around what happened when they had seen the author of the book that they bonded over initially, the author Oswald Heist. Much of the book is narrated from the baby's point of view. So the baby's name is Hazel, and a good part of the book, again, is she's like the narrator of the story. So I guess in some way, that's going to take away some of your anticipation of something happening to the baby. There's a baby, and the mother, Alana, is the mother. So again, Marco, Alana, and the baby, Hazel. Those are going to be your main characters. But the Will and Gwen, they seem to, Gwendolyn, they seem to be a big part of the story as well. Prince Robot. I mean, all these characters seem to be pretty much mainstays. Again, only have volume 4, so who knows what characters eventually, with a book like this, such as Walking Dead as well, you never know who's going to make it, who's not. Gwen and the Will kind of bond a bit, and they have a girl that they save from a slave planet, kind of, and her name is Sophie, or that's the name the Will gives her. All right. So they meet up with Heist, and a lot of, I'll say, his Brian K. Vaughan's style. He tends to work very much with the page turn in mind. The page turn in comics being that you really have no indication on the previous page, and again, you'll have to understand that when you're reading a comic, your odd number page here, if you're constructing a story, Your odd number page is going to be what the reader can see even when he's looking at the even number page, but then something might happen on the following page, whammo, and you weren't expecting it. Take a drink. All right. So yeah, Brian K. Vaughan does seem to take advantage of that, where you have the odd page, and then boom, something unexpected happens on the following page. All right, so Prince Robot, Wine Cat, Gwendolyn, all characters that you really grew attached to. I know, Lana and Marco. I know, again, been a month or so since I read it, so I did lose track of the names a little bit, because there is a good number of characters to keep track of. Number 4, and again, a seed was planted at some point mentioning, I guess, what equivocates to TV. TV is almost like a black market thing right now, but people enjoy it. And everyone who's an actor is kind of confidential in their identity. So, number 4 has this cover, which is Alana's persona on a TV show. Spoilers, as I'm giving everything away. So, just know that if you're watching this, giving a lot of stuff away. This is more so for someone who's already read it themselves, wants to kind of take a stroll down memory lane. As the birth of Prince Robot's kid. Okay, Landfall is the big planet where the people with the wings, and Wreath is the moon where the people with the horns. Yep, right there. All right. So now you got that part of it down. And the couple goes through a little bump in their relationship, as many couples do. So there's a lot of relatable stuff. In the first volume, I was almost like, ooh, they're playing that up a little bit much as far as like, it's an outer space science fiction thing where, and then they kept plopping in like real life stuff, almost like if you were watching Star Wars and Han Solo said, oh, I gotta get my library book back in before it's overdue. Just kind of very relatable stuff. I almost questioned if, but I guess I was kind of establishing the environment, trying to pull us into the fact that these alien worlds are much like our own. Let's see. And I can't say there's really a stinker of a character in the bunch. They introduce a lot of characters, all of which you take some interest in, which is not always easy to do. So I have to commend this book on that. And again, there's no portion of the art where you're wincing or it looks rushed or they didn't pull it off. Everything is just very well done. So let's see. Well, there's a cliffhanger, as there are, I guess, most issues of this book. But and the kind of cliffhangers where you want to know what happens. A lot of times, there are a good number of these books where you're kind of like, I don't really care. And I guess what they do is they make you invest in these characters, which helps make those cliffhangers all the more to the point where you want to see what happens next. So, the trades will have some extras like variant covers that were released, or some con sketches or commissions. So, those are nice to have. And I know there's a big hardcover that came out, probably collecting all these trades. So I am not one for hardcovers, so I'm more than happy to have the trades. So again, overall, 5 out of 5 stars. And I will be picking up the next trade of Saga. All right, so that's going to do it with this one. Feel free to check out my own channel, Argo Comics, ARGO Comics, and keep coming back to Comic Frontline for all your comics news, reviews, and entertainment.